sit, talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy... Flyover state of fear. Welcome back to Flyover State of Fear. What's up, Brian? It's a music band. Great t-shirt.
I'm in a whole new place. What's happening?
New recording things. We have a logo in the corner.
Space. This is wild.
We're hip.
This is a new. We're using this new hip young podcasting app.
We didn't get kicked off a company service that I worked for 10 years.
Hell no, we didn't. We would never get kicked off of something.
Ever. So, what's up, man? How you been?
Hey, not much. Just doing my thing, living the life. Caught a couple of. I know, you didn't ask, but I'll just roll right into it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been. What do I want to say here? Integrating with the youth because I saw. A couple of YouTube adjacent horror pictures.
Yeah, you saw the big one.
I saw Backrooms, which is, by the time this comes out, probably $100 million movie, I imagine. By the time this episode airs.
I think it might already be $100 million.
Yeah, it's pretty close. And I also watched Iron Lung, which was Markiplier, YouTuber Markiplier's horror movie based on the video game by the same name. So I just feel like I am tapped into, because everything, all the articles I'm seeing right now are all about how how the YouTubers are gonna save the theaters, and that's they're the new rock stars of cinema, and they're gonna teach the old heads who thought that they could sell Mandalorian and Grogu to us what real movies are about.
Well, so it's funny. Yeah, that's the talking point, because you got both Backrooms and Obsession. I saw Obsession today.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you said it's good too, right?
Yeah. So I wanted to vaguely talk about it for a second, but I actually booked Backrooms, and then I thought, I'm not. So I'm off. I'm in between jobs for a week, so I'm off, and I was I'll go try to go to the movies, this and that. And Backrooms, it's not that I backed out. It was more of I'm not in the vibe for that slow burn today. I know not exactly what to expect from Obsession, but this is going to be a little more fast paced. But I went at it, and same thing with Backrooms. They were both 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock showings. Almost full theaters, middle of the week.
Wow.
Or end of the week. It's a Thursday, but still.
But still, during the day on a Thursday, that's still a pretty wild time. And,
it's early June, so it's not like school. Yeah. And it was it seemed like mixed ages. Yeah, dude, Backrooms is sitting at 140 million worldwide, and Obsession is sitting at 166 worldwide with 120 domestic.
That is crazy. And supposedly Obsession made for under $1 million, too.
Yeah, it's what I'll say with Obsession is it's a really good monkey paw situation.
Sure.
It has some gnarly stuff, right? But the two from the director, I was watching going, this is it's artistically made and shot. Yeah. And you could tell it's very there was things in it where I felt how they say Quentin Tarantino doesn't steal, he just uses things from other movies.
Pays homage.
It felt like it had a lot of those into it, whether they were intentional or not. And I was all right, I don't think this is a rip.
I think we might touch on a similar subject of that when we're talking about today's movie.
I think so. That was dope. And then I want to do Backrooms. I might do that tomorrow morning, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Backrooms was a lot of fun, and I wasn't familiar with the
me neither.
I didn't watch any content about that. I was I'm a little too old, but
I know liminal
they made
horror.
A classy picture that I think anybody can enjoy.
It's funny, speaking of you didn't know about that, I also didn't know. I'm that a few years older than creepypasta being relevant to me.
That's fair.
Other than, like, this Slender Man thing. And even then, we were a little too old.
Right, but, like, yeah, you weren't of the age to actually be into Slender Man. You were just you were just young enough to know about Slender Man. Yeah.
Because when I was walking, I picked up my laptop from my new job. And actually, we were talking about horror. Like, that was, like, something happened. Most of them was like, oh, we love horror. I was like, I didn't tell about this show, but I was like, great. Blah, blah, blah. And as I'm walking out, I said, I'm going to go to the movies today. I think I'm going to go to the movies with the day off. And at first I said, probably Backrooms. And the woman goes, oh, my boyfriend, we were talking about, he didn't know what it was. And I was, and I said, oh, me really either. And I'm like, just a few years removed from, like,
right.
Not, like, I think if you're, like, 30 or younger, or probably 29 or younger, like, you probably have a better understanding. I'm excited to see that. I heard about that Iron Lung a while ago.
Yeah, it's like, it's definitely out of the theater now, but it did a pretty decent little theatrical run, though, I think.
It did real well. It had no major studio, no promo, no nothing.
Yeah.
And I think it made something like $60 or $80 million just
on word of mouth, basically, yeah.
It's Hollywood, so they're going to learn the wrong lesson of, with these YouTubers. Because
we already know, right, the Obsession guy's already been tapped to do, Chainsaw? Texas Chainsaw?
And I could see him doing
Which isn't,
a good
he
job.
could do a good job, but it's just that same Hollywood thing they've been doing for 10 years, where it's like, as soon as a new director pops up, they snatch him up and shove him into some IP, and it's like, nobody has a chance to, like, cook, get a second or third film out,
Yeah. Yeah, there's
swallowed up into that studio system, baby.
Yeah, it's yeah. But one last note on Obsession, and I do want to rattle off two other movies I watched recently. It's in the vein of, I know there are two different types of horrors, that and Backroom. It is in the vein of very just mean movies, when we always talk about when a horror movie is fucking mean,
like a nasty kind of. We talked about Primate a couple weeks ago, and it's just got a little bit mean-spiritedness to it.
Yeah, this one, I'm was reading some of the negative reviews of it. I'm like, oh, well, that was the point. Your 1 star is because you wanted another person to be the hero.
Because the movie was effective in upsetting you.
Yeah. So the real horror is how she was treated. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not spoiling anything because we could all gauge this from the trailer. Anyway, so I'll move on from that. But no, I took 2 really long flights this past week. I was in London for a bit, so I had a lot of time to, use the in-flight movies. And I caught 3. I'm going to briefly mention 2. I watched that, Good Luck, Don't Die, Good Luck.
Oh, I watched that also.
It was fun.
Yeah, it's a fun little movie.
Fun little movie. Not much to note on it.
I think it was again, like a lot of those type of movies do, it gets a little messy by the end. You know what I mean? And you're kind of which can make it a little unsatisfying. Sometimes it's not like a real, real focused ending, but it was a lot of fun.
I liked its ending more than it's getting there almost.
Right, kind of the build up to the ending and the
that's
climax.
what I mean. The build up and we're on the same page. I think.
At the end, I do like the resolution that you get no spoilers or anything, but the way it wraps up, I like. Yeah. But I agree. I think the leading into the climax was a little sloppy.
Yeah, and we didn't need everyone's perspective straight. Anyway, the other one I watched, Black Phone 2.
Oh, I was a little disappointed with Black Phone 2. I kind of wanted a little bit more out of it, I think.
I liked it on the plane, which I feel like you always have a sense of difference. It was catching.
Oh, and I don't want to give the impression I thought it was bad or anything. I definitely didn't.
I didn't love it.
They were trying to lean into the we're gonna make the Grabber the new Freddy, and I was ready for that. And I don't think they really hit the. They didn't land that one quite.
It was my Letterboxd review says the Grabber's just a bitch. I just don't think he's an effective slasher in the sense it's kind of a cool iconography. I liked the first movie.
Right, he's got a good look, and I think Ethan Hawke's having a good time.
I had fun with it. I think the movie looked really good. Mm-hmm. The irony is I do think I owned the Black Phone 2 because it was on one of those mass sales where it was sure, throw it in there, $10 4K that I want to see.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was
cheap
on
to see.
sale.
It's cheaper than see. It's still cheaper than seeing it in the theater.
Yeah,
I can own this 4K.
I do think that's down there. That's bad that it's getting to that stage. I'm like, do I own it? But some of those sales.
That's why told you I did that letterbox list.
I log everything.
That's what I'm saying. Log everything in it. Then at least you'll have a place to look.
Oh, I log it all. I have 2 places now, Letterboxd and the that iCollect app I've been using for years. So the third one I want to talk about, which is more of a recommendation to you, is Cold Storage. The Joe Keery, Liam Neeson.
I did see that. I did see yeah.
It is a little more of a poppy version than the movie Splinter we watched. Like, it's that, like...
Okay.
Unique, not quite a zombie movie, but like it's a virus movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's about, and it was a blind, like, on the way home, like, hit play, and it was like, it was really violent, where I was kind of going, this is weird. I like
Joe Keery. He's a guy, I'm rooting for. Like, I'd love to see him, like, get out from under the Stranger Things and actually have a career. Like,
he was cool. All the leads in the movie were fun. Very that low budget. The practical effects looked awesome. But it's, Liam Neeson was a good time. And it was, it's basically like the military back, like, in the late 70s or something, like, stopped an extraterrestrial from, like, outbreaking. And then they kept it in a place, and that place was then sold to, like, a storage unit. And there was, like, a contamination because, like, a part went wrong. And, like, Joe Keery and another girl are just, like, working the night shift at this, like, storage unit facility. Simple concept.
Cool. Yeah, I'll
very
check
cool.
That out.
Like I said, a little very poppy. Nothing too just gruesome, but like gross for almost comedicness. Fun. I think you would really like it. I had a good time. Anyway, those are 2 I watched, and then I came home. Well,
speaking of kind of in that, not to interrupt, but in that vein of like poppy horror, but also like almost like splatter action. I watched They Will Kill You.
Oh, how was that?
It's a lot of fun. It really obviously suffers from coming out like the same weekend or the next weekend to the Ready or Not movie.
I heard they're the same. It's very similar.
It's similar. It's definitely doing a different thing as far as its style and stuff. It's got a very kind of like, you mentioned Tarantino, and kind of like Hong Kong style action to it, which is fun. And it's doing some slightly different thing with its devil worship aspect also. But unfortunately it does bear, it can't help but bear a bit of a resemblance to Ready or Not, especially when it comes out damn near the same week,
Yeah,
But it's a lot of fun. Definitely worth its 90-minute runtime. I mean, you'll have a blast with it for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Some fun turns by the Heather Graham, and
maybe I'll hit play on that
in it, and so
maybe I'll play on that soon.
You should. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like, I watched it. I've actually watched it twice because I watched it and then I was like, Sarah will like this. I'll watch this with Sarah. And she did.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, we all have the kind of now the same same pipeline where we're getting our new releases from.
I know. I was just thinking, I was like, boy, I hope somebody puts Obsession on Plex soon.
It'll be.
It won't be long. It won't be long.
One of the 2 guys that controls it is very like, he's like, I just see new release and just
get it
when it's available, add it. Because it's funny, me and Lauren simultaneously we're just gonna watch all the Harrison Ford like thrillers.
Yeah, I saw you guys were watching The Fugitive. I saw Frantic. I haven't ever even seen Frantic.
I actually didn't finish. I had them add Frantic is what made me play Plex because I only know it from the song, from the Bare Naked Ladies song.
Oh yeah.
I did not finish. I didn't
like Harrison Ford and Frantic, that one.
Yeah, I didn't actually like finish. I actually like got 2 minutes into it. Actually, when I didn't have the time. I didn't have the energy or time for it that day. We'll get to it, but no, we're gonna make a list of all the, just like the 90s, 80s, like
I'll
those.
Tell you what's a good one that
the non-indies. And
speaking
Star
of
Warses.
Harrison Ford, one that I hadn't seen for years and just caught up with a couple years ago is Mosquito Coast. So that's another, if you get around to that one, that's a good Harrison Ford. And the oft underused asshole Harrison Ford, you don't get I don't think there's enough roles where he gets to like play unlikable, and he's kind of more unlikable in that, yeah.
So we're gonna knock some of those off. I'm excited to do that. Just kind of starting the summer with. But anyway, I feel like I started with a real stinker. So we're talking about Faces of Death,
2026.
But it's cool. It's cool in the sense of what a weird, unique way to like, not remake. It's not even a remake. It's just using the name of like a thing. And I guess I want to start. I hit play on this because it was once again on the Plex, but also you heard the horror community, you know, sometimes certain jizz themselves over something like this. So maybe it's worth a shot.
I mean, you know, the original Faces of Death franchise, you know, starts in the 70s. Obviously, they talk about it a little bit in this movie.
I wanted to ask
you, but like,
you
it definitely has like a notorious kind of, you know, reputation. So just using the name Face of Death, no matter what, you were going to get yourself some attention, you know.
Because oh my god, I didn't even realize this. Okay. We'll come back to that. Yeah, I've never watched. I have no interest. I've never had an interest in watching something like that. I know its history, you know, it's like the background and it was a tape you could get in the kind of black market and they were real, but it turns, you know, but it was really just like autopsy. It was just like news footage for the most part, and then they were like, actually, some of it was fake.
You know, I don't remember. I know I saw some when I was young. I don't know if it was the original. Also, they did some of their sequels were actually more like compilations of previous tapes. So, like, I don't know what I saw or what it was from, but yeah, a lot of it is just like animal mutilation stuff. Honestly, shit you see on the Discovery Channel anymore. On like watch a hunting show, they'll dismember an animal worse than anything in this movie, probably. I used to watch that Alaska. Was it Alaska: The Last Frontier? Man, they'd be butchering mad animals on that show. But yeah, and like you said, news footage. I'm sure one of them had like the Bud Dwyer video on it, and one of them, you know what I mean, stuff like that. Like,
I just fucking hate. I mean, talking about the movie itself and like all of her stuff is kind of going to be choppy, especially since like, what is this? I was like, oh, of all the clips you show me that monkey clip that does look real or might be.
Right.
No, I didn't. That really. Yeah, like I said, that's like, I know you could buy it today and like 4K remastered from the Vinegar Syndrome selection.
I'm pretty sure you can watch it on fucking Tubi now. I think it's on. It's like free streaming places and shit now.
But what call
it's just considered like, I don't know. It's considered like regular horror to some people, but yeah, it's pretty grim.
I don't think that's like. It's not the same thing, but it's like it was with people recently, you know, when we were overseas at the wedding and talking to people, and I'm sure you get this, and everyone loves to bring up, oh, I love horror movies and this. Everyone loves to bring up, like, you know, true crime's so popular.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, you would love this serial killer thing and this. And I'm like, ooh.
No, actually,
and most of the time I nod my head, but I'm like, oh, not the lane when people start really getting too weird about, like, the actual
that
guys.
Jeffrey Dahmer show.
Yeah.
Oh, that...
That's what they brought up.
This.
And I was like, not my lane.
I actually find those to be gross and exploitative.
Not my lane. I just shut up and nodded my head because I, like, you know, I wasn't trying to be.
Yeah, you're trying not to, like, get into to fight. You're not looking to get in an argument with another.
But I was definitely like, no, it's a little more than that. Anyway, what caught my eye here is the dude who made one of my favorite movies from quite a few years ago.
I saw that he made Cam. Yeah, I saw that. It's the same director.
What happened?
He also made that How to Blow Up a Pipeline, which is a Netflix movie that got pretty good buzz.
It's not poorly made. What I want to say here, it's not poorly made movie. I mean, you saw my Letterboxd review. I was dead serious in the sense like.
Did you see my Letterboxd review?
I just think you said it's like shit from an ass.
I said shit is ass.
Shit is ass. I just said like it could have got 4 stars.
I must maybe being a little facetious. I
was like, I first watched it and I'm like, parts of it I'm going, oh yeah, we'll get, you know, it's not bad. Yeah, I like what they're doing here. And then just by the end of it, I'm mad. And days leading to this recording, I'm going, that girl pissed me off so much. You know, let's start.
Yeah, let's start up. So we talked about the director Daniel Goldhaber.
Yeah.
He directed How to Blow Up a Pipeline and Cam, which I also saw Cam and enjoyed.
Phenomenal. I really love that movie.
And I feel like there's a little nod with our influencer character in this one to Cam. I feel like that's his little like his little throwback to Cam.
I think that would have been really fun in this. Now that I know it was Cam, to like the TikTok scroll you had,
see her on there.
That would have been nice.
our lead, Margot, played by Barbie Fieria. I think Fieria.
Barbie, is
Fieria?
that Ferrari?
Fieria?
Yeah.
There's a lot of R's
she?
and I's and A's in that last name. It's tough.
So I see she's a Euphoria actress.
Yeah. She was in Euphoria, and she has a tiny little part in Nope. She's the girl who works with Angel at the like.
Oh yeah, at the video store.
Comes up and is like, "What are you doing? What are you when he's like watching the videos or whatever."
Yes,
I want to give a shout out to this movie. Thank you for casting a plus size lead actress. Yeah. Good for you. And we're gonna talk a lot of shit about her character. I don't think her performance was the problem.
No, I think...
I want to say that I think the actress did a fine job, but I think there are some writing and character shit they put in this that suck and do her a disservice.
It's very... The script is extremely, from almost every character, as buzzwordy as you could be.
But then there's also things... We're going to get into it, because there's some stuff that is so, first draft that, you clearly did not update, and just, I don't know. There's some really funny, silly shit in this. But anyway, I wanted to say, because we probably will shit on her because her character's written stupid, that I don't think the actress did a bad job, and I was excited to see a plus-size lead. I thought that was cool. I wish it was in a better movie, but... good for her. And then our male lead, Doc Ray Montgomery.
He was excellent.
He's great, even though he is just a loose assemblage of serial killer movie cliches.
Yes, he's just doing every...
But he himself is fine, and you might remember him, kids out there might remember him from the third season of Stranger Things, and also the Power Rangers reboot movie they tried to do. He was the Red Ranger.
In the plane... My dad was watching a movie with him in it that looked newer, and one of those movies you could tell ooh, that's it was a real dad movie,
oh yeah,
with Dead Man's Wire.
Oh yeah, okay,
it's
okay.
Real
Liam Neeson?
Gus Van Sant. No, it's a guy. Not even anyway. It's just about serious events about renting an apartment complex, and he leaves and the government's taking over, and it's a true story. And I kept looking over while I was watching Cold Storage going, oh, that looks like a real movie.
Yeah, while I'm watching got a real movie going there.
So anyway, but sounds weird to say, just from no audio and what I could see, he looked very period piecey, he's probably giving a good performance.
Yeah, good.
So when I came home and Doc Ray McCray...
no real performance issues.
You know what else he's in
this movie?
You know what he's in? A Flyover favorite. Ready or Not. Not Ready or Not. Not Ready or Not. Fucking... the Christmas horror movie. God damn it. My brain's fried.
Oh, no.
You know the one with the two kids and the fake Home Alone scene?
Oh, is it Better Watch Out?
Better Watch Out. Not Ready or Not.
Is he the kid in that? Is he the
He's
younger...
the boyfriend who gets hung.
Oh, okay.
From the tree. And I just remembered when I did the show. I think Janine was on that episode. So remember she corrected me on how to say Doc Ray Montgomery.
Doc Ray.
But he was just going over to America to do Power Rangers, and he was like, "No, I'll do the stunt." And the studio's like, "You can't do the stunt, man.
Yeah.
You can, but if this goes bad, anyway."
Yeah, you'll fuck up the Power Rangers movie.
Which should have
and
had
we're leaving
a full
that
franchise.
to Elizabeth Banks.
Yeah, weird choice. Good movie.
I actually really think the Power Rangers movie's fine. Offshoot, I think it was fine. I think they probably should have just went with they could have did the exact same movie they made and just gone with a more classic look for their Power Rangers costumes.
It was the look.
Zords,
it was the look.
And then they would have been fine, yeah.
Oh, if they just did the 90s Power Rangers suit with a little line twist in it, it would be...
you do the thing where you make it look more like real clothes by, having more visible seams and stitching and kind of make it look more like...
You just want it recognizable as Power Rangers.
Right.
And
basically the way they do the Marvel costumes, something like that. It's all visually still the same, but, you kind of,
But...
You should have done what Masters of the Universe is about to do, which is literally just put the thing people remember on the screen.
I think that work. That's going to work. Anyway, yeah. So we meet her. We meet our protagonist.
Yeah, Margot. And here's my first eye roll of the movie. Her last name is Romero, And I was just like, ugh. It's just like, that's always a bad sign when your character's like, if you're watching a horror movie and the character's got like, their last name is Romero or Carpenter or Craven or something, it's like, you're not starting from a strong place.
Oh, it's the, God. Yeah, the Lori.
Yeah, just like anything's too...
Yeah, anything from any movie in the 70s or 80s, they're now just...
anything that's like attached to some iconic horror franchise. De Palma. You know, if you got your character named De Palma.
I think that would take me out of a movie. Hey, poor Coppola.
This is my friend, Todd Ford Coppola.
My best pal, Brian Scorsese.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we meet Margot, and her like job is something like you don't think of or see. She's a moderator on like a TikTok platform where Also, we do learn like because of this tragedy, like people know who she is, and she has a limited
like the first time her roommate tries to take her out to a party, they run into some people who are like clocking her as the train girl. We don't know what that means yet, but she has some modicum of viral fame.
And from what we learn a little bit, and I'm just going to ruin it in like a couple sentences, but what we learn a little later in it is like it was so big that like it was such a big thing and clearly a huge event where it's like you would recognize this person because they were all over the news.
Well, this movie also posits a world, and like we don't have to. It's part of like the kind of whole theme of the movie, and a few do that, but like this is a world where like basically like what goes viral is like 90% snuff films or fake snuff films, and people and normal people on the street just like share them with each other, which is not my experience. Like I've been pretty extremely online for a lot of years, and like I've seen some fucked up shit.
You know what's the biggest?
Most of the time people aren't like clamoring to like share that kind of stuff with each other.
No, the biggest.
And if you do see something like that, usually like, oh, I saw something fucked up that I wish I could unsee. Kind of like, not like two nurses at the nurse station at the hospital, like huddled around a fucking likely real snuff video. Like,
yeah, people are being like, oh my god, I can't believe they're flaying him out or whatever. Like later on, like those.
Like same thing with Train Girl. Like I feel like that's not the type of video a bunch of people would have watched.
No, and that's why I think it was a news thing. Like I think it was probably like her face was on the news. I'm putting more backstory than they put into it, and they're like...
But they definitely give you the impression that people remember her from the video, though. Like, so many people saw the video.
And see... Oh, God. You know what? I'm just going to go to the video. Could I just go to the video?
Well, I mean, they kind of tease it out. But
okay, we'll tease it out.
But we don't have to... I was going to say, I just feel like... They tease it out a little bit, but I think by, like, the first or second time she's, like... having her dreams that kind of hint at what it's going to be before they show you, I already figured it out. You know what I mean? I was like, It's not like the train girl, but she's not, doesn't have any immediate physical disabilities. That means something happened to someone else, but she was there. You know what I mean? Like I was pretty much piecing it together almost immediately.
My take on that is, she should probably be in prison or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough to say. Like, we'll
pretty
talk.
Bad. Pretty bad. Pretty bad. I mean, I did go, oh shit. It wasn't on the couch. I did audibly go, oh, that's something's happening. But like, oof. So she's doing this, and she's going
She's
through.
doing her content moderation.
Yeah,
thing,
and she comes across like. She comes across this one video that's very like artsy with mannequins and like like an audio over it that could be like a trend.
It's like a beheading video, you know.
Yeah.
Like instead, but there's no real people in it except the person getting beheaded. Everything else is done with mannequins and like.
But
the
it's so
mannequin does
stylized that it's like
it basically just catches her attention.
Well, this could be an amateur VFX artist.
She flags it, but she puts that's likely fake
Mm-hmm.
in her initial notes. But then she sees another one with more mannequins again, and it kind of catches her attention, and she starts to, for some reason, be like, well, maybe these aren't fake. Like, you know, and that's the first thing that, like, I don't feel like they did a good enough job of, like, explaining why she made that leap. When she, like, her whole thing is basically barely watching 2 seconds. It's like the first video that she watched for more than 4 seconds. She's like, oh my god, this is real. Yeah. Every other video she was just like, fine, allow. And then she sees one and she's like, Just watches it for 2 extra seconds. It's like, oh my god, I'm totally, yep, this is real.
I feel like if me and you had, lived in this world that she lives in where everyone's on this and the snuff films, this podcast would be about rom-coms instead, because we'd be like, I'm good. I'm rebelling against this.
Yeah, you know what? I'm fine. The world's a plenty fucked up place. I already feel that way sometimes. I'm always like, I need to escape into the world of fantasy horror because real world horrors are too constant.
Like what I'm going to say is like, my my politics and all that, same as yours, like liberal and everything. The closest thing to a snuff film I've seen is seeing the seconds or minutes after the Charlie Kirk shooting and actually seeing the real thing really fucked me up. I did not have any sort of.
I didn't know I was going to see Charlie Kirk.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? That's like I was not prepared for that.
Real, and I went, oh, that really disturbed me. And I remember bringing that to someone and going, what? I've seen it. I'm like, that. I'm glad I actually had that line of like, ooh.
I'm glad it could still make me feel something. I'm glad that when I saw it, I was uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yes, I was uncomfortable. I was like really upset I saw this. And then someone sent it to me later that day, being like, you like horror movies? I swear to God, this happened.
They sent the Charlie Kirk death video and were like, you like horror movies?
Laura's, one of like someone we know.
Hey, you want to see a scary movie?
But he was like, sent me, he goes, I don't know, I haven't even talked about this, but you might like stuff like this. I go, I literally were like, don't send that, I saw it, I don't like it, it's terrible.
That's not,
and I was really,
that's not being a horror fan, that's not what it's about, guy.
It made me go, am I putting a weird message out there in the world?
Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah, exactly. Well, no, and that's the thing, it's like, is that what, and I feel like there's that element built into this movie too, is like, is that what people think that horror fans are like? Like, is that really the public perception of somebody who's into horror? Is that like they like real world fucked up shit too?
I think in that regard, I think it might be a lane of like that confusion of like, you like this, you probably like true crime.
Yeah.
And you probably have the stomach to handle this. And I'm like, no, the minute I like, it's real, like, that stomach turns. But if I like subconsciously know I'm watching Terrifier, I'm like, yeah, it's just a silicone-filled body with the fucking corn syrup in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just a hose running up Charlie's shirt and coming out by his neck and making a Kill Bill spray.
So that was weird. And that movie reminded me of this like topic of this stuff and us talking about
because the whole idea of like real and snuff films is all built into this, and like Faces of Death, the kind of like pseudo reality of that and everything.
But yeah, so kind of like, so she saws this, and I like when she gets home after her day at work, her roommate is really into. He's a horror head who's really into this, and he's actually what we're talking about, loves the fucked up. I think he's watching like a giallo movie or something when he walks.
Yeah,
in.
when he first comes in, definitely he's got some giallo thing on. Yeah.
Real like
and that kid was in Cocaine Bear. He's funny. He had a funny part in Cocaine Bear. He was like, there's like 3 kids in that, and he's the one who kind of like ends up helping the main character.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Elizabeth Banks, that was another good one she made. So
she directed the hell out of Cocaine Bear. I think, like, I don't know what the reception of was overall, but it was a blast. I thought it was real fun.
Really positive.
Yeah, I thought it was really fun, and I thought I was watching it like with an eye to, Elizabeth Banks directed this, and it's out of her normal wheelhouse, and it was really good. Like, I thought it was a lot of fun. Sidebar: go watch Cocaine Bear.
Yes, then we could do that movie.
That's a fun man. Margot Martindale, Cocaine Bear is so funny. She's hilarious.
But, so anyway, we go over to kind of cut to also like our serial killer, Doc Craig Montgomery, and
Arthur is his name.
Also, I feel like Arthur, maybe because I watched Dexter, like that's a serial killer-y name. I mean, it's not, but like, that's like an average guy name, I guess it's supposed to be. Like, that's just Arthur.
Well, and he kind of does he has like the dweeby persona, which is funny to me because his like dweeby fake persona reminds me of her boss in this. The guy she keeps trying to kind of like get to pay attention is the guy from The Blackening. And he has that kind of same nerdy persona in The Blackening, and I was like, are you doing this on purpose? Is that part? Are you like drawing a direct line?
Which is a much better movie than this.
Oh, The Blackening's an incredible movie.
It's
by comparison to this, holy shit.
He made The Blackening too.
Yeah, he's like one of the...
Or the writer, I think.
I think he might be the writer, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she's always trying to get his attention. And I think that, like, these are where these, like, frustrations hit me. I'm like, girl, why are you trying to go up the channels in this? Like, just go show them. Like, there are people you can contact. Send this shit to the FBI. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this is like, this is where we're going to finally start getting into, like...
Yeah, we're saying all the positive things.
Her investigation stuff, which is really where it starts to fall down a little bit. I did like the first scene with Arthur. We get the idea of basically how he chooses his victims and stuff. You know, it's mostly online influencers and podcasters. It seems like
he was like a local news like a
he does do a local reporter. So I guess people who just like get attention. You know,
which is where
attention economy.
One of my red flags raised too later. I'm like, no one's looking for an actual like news reporter who has to clock in for work daily.
Yeah.
Like no one saw that video and went, oh, I forget his name. That's Tony.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if they ever released the video that he's in or not. I can't remember. But yeah, he's pretty famous to have been to just be missing with no with no background. Like picking up these like minor influencers and like little online personalities is one thing, but this guy's on the local news. If he didn't show up literally one day, it's gonna be news. Like he doesn't just show up for work.
So,
but I also do think there's a thing, and they don't talk about it. They don't like say it outright. But I do feel like Arthur's escalating in an attempt to get more. He's getting more into the attention thing. He kind of starts off trying to stay anonymous, but by the end I think he's like trying to get a little more attention for himself. So that might be why the higher profile victims maybe.
Yeah, he clearly likes because they show like I think what a lot of us have on a non-sociopath level is the dopamine hits of getting the likes and going, you know, ooh, that looks so real, and we see him, you know, reply to actually one comment in another profile of like, I think the lighting's pretty good, you know, this and that.
Yeah, you
like,
see
he's
him like,
self-conscious.
responding to his own critics and stuff, which is funny.
And like, you know, we all have years and years and years of this posting online, whether it's podcasts or on stuff. When you get those likes or things, it is a dopamine hit of like you check and you go, oh, that's nice, okay. But you know, having said that, going forward with that, so Margot is like more like, go back to Margot. She's more attentive to this. These things are also like kind of sticking it in her brain of like what she's seen in this specific video.
Yeah.
So
just against company policy, she starts doing some research on her own.
We also learn She doesn't have a smartphone. I think it's pretty important. She doesn't have a smartphone. She doesn't have a computer. She's fully other than work, she's fully disconnected herself from the internet.
Yeah.
Um,
But again, there's a lot of disparaging because, like, at times she seems like a person who's pretty tech savvy, but then also she's not. You know what I mean? She's just like.
well, that's the.
Also, there's a mention. Her boss makes mention of him getting her this job. I think you're meant to believe that whatever the trauma was also caused her to maybe have a bit of a drug problem or like a little bit of PTSD or something that was making her and she's cleaned up from that. And I think part of that cleanup was get away from social media, get off the internet. Aside from her job.
Because what are the
which is to look at the most horrible things on the internet.
Maybe work at like the Apple lab, be a genius or something.
But she does specifically like want to keep the type of video that she was in from going out to the world.
But she loves adding them up.
Yeah, she does.
So I feel like it'd be like no.
Right, yeah. That's another thing. Like for that being her stated goal later, you're like, well, you allowed basically everything. You were just like, nah, that's fine.
Condom, yes.
Oh wait, how to put on a condom? Better mark that. That's bad.
So she I don't know. Yeah, this is just where like it's so she has she's in the comment.
Like the real dumb shit started to come in for me. Like really, I feel like maybe it had been brewing, but I think it was when he goes to kidnap the reporter guy. He goes to his house. And the first thing that really struck me as like a thing that should have been fixed in the writing stage was where after they bandage his hand, the guy throws him a beer.
Yeah.
Think fast. And I was like, you wouldn't throw a beer to a guy who just helped bandage up his hand. Like,
no.
And they don't even acknowledge how stupid it was. Like, there's not a moment where he's like, what the fuck are you doing?
And this is a seltzer, but this is a LaCroix, but he holds it like, oh, okay, I'm going to go now afterwards. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's weird also the character of that, like, that guy, we could tell he's like, oh, just likes everyone, but he's also, like, vaguely says a person down the road, and he's like, I'm dating her, and he's like, oh, have a beer with me, then you're a neighbor. And I'm like, I don't think in a million years I would ever, I would have a beer with him.
Into your house and shit. Also, after... It's so funny because, like, okay, they have this little interaction, they leaves, and then they're doing the creepy thing where he's walking around the house and he thinks somebody's there, and he sees clothes that are hung in a way that are only hung to trick you into thinking there's a person there. Like, first of all, they're the type of outfit that you don't just, like, hang randomly on a hat rack in your room. It's like a suit with a knit hat over top that the knit hat has a face drawn on it or something. It really is like so purposefully meant to look like somebody standing in the room. It's just like that. I mean, obviously it's a horror thing we've seen done a million times.
It would freak me out in my own home.
Right, but it's like, it's not... You see that in a movie and then they flip on the lights and it's like a naturally occurring... This, I would flip on the lights and think, who set that up specifically to scare me? Because that looks like it's trying to be a person.
I also think, which again, his confusion lasts longer than being attacked when the electrical panel, it's all taped up weird, and he's like, his son or whatever, he's like, Ryan, what'd you do? And I'm like, I don't know, your son seemed pretty checked out from you. Because then Decray, and they have a little tussle, but...
I like Docker's move is he like doses people. He has like an EpiPen type like injector.
He's injecting them with fent.
With just a little bit of fent and putting them down. But I like that it takes everybody's a little different, so like he has to kind of gauge it out. And he's like that guy's like swinging on him, but he's like backing out of the way and just like letting him kind of go down. That I did like that. And like I said, I know the stuff I was nitpicking there is like, oh, you're going to criticize the movie just for that. No, that was just like the start of me starting to notice things of like a little bit dumb, a little bit lazy. Like I said, the thing with the fake clothes standee, it's not egregious, but it just speaks to the like kind of slapdash nature of like, well, we want that scare, but we're not going to take the time to do it in a way that feels natural. We'll just throw it up there so it's very obvious what we're trying to do here and move on. A lot of the
scares are very like camera pans here. He's standing here. He's doing this. Where it got me I mean, it was before then. It's about where you're talking, but it's a little right after this scene, or after like the news anchor actually perishes. The faces of death, but not her finding out in the comments. That was a natural way to be like, oh, that's the faces of death audio, or someone put like, oh, this is what it reminds me of. That's how she figures out what's the thing, and she Googles the original viral video. But then she goes to her apartment, and she goes to the wall of VHSs, which, I don't know, I actually paused to read what he had, I think, line by line, just because I was curious. Didn't write any of them down. But then she gets to her horror section. She's like, oh, great, Faces of Death right there. It pissed me off.
He has had a copy.
A clamshell copy of Faces of Death. And I'm like, hey, this motherfucker has VHSs. This is like a thing these Gen Zs are doing now, where they're trying to be like, it's just the better quality of thing, or the better way to watch. I'm like, hate you. No, it's not.
No, VHS is garbage. What a garbage format that we got rid of gladly.
And so it's coming back. I've had a few people ask me about this.
There's literally been people who think that a VHS is like film. They're like, I'm watching on film. It's like, no,
it just feels different. I'll stick to. I'll do a once a year for my Goosebumps tapes.
We haven't talked any about Charlie XCX is in this briefly as Gabby, the coworker.
She's so bad.
She sucks. She's like, obviously she's not an actress or whatever, but it's so funny that like Margot is like the corporate stooge who is like sitting there being like, just shut off from this, don't even think about it, just pass it, let it pass through. And then like she watches one video and now she's like scolding people in the hall like, this could be real, someone could really be hurt, you shouldn't be watching this. And I do like that like her coworkers have basically the correct response, which is like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, but she's just like a huge massive hypocrite immediately. Like I said, the first time she watches more than 2 seconds of one of these videos, she immediately like falls down the rabbit hole on it.
Speaking of corporate nonsense, I think her boss, how he should have handled this instead of like, yo, Margot, you gotta stop acting crazy. We can't flag stuff like this because it'll shut the company down, which is like, no corporate manager would flat out say that. He should have just said, and this actually I think would have been creepier and more realistic. Hey, I'll run this up the flagpole, and we'll look into this and get it taken care of, and then do nothing about it.
And then
there's
nothing.
a scene.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and then there's a scene.
What would actually have happened? Yeah.
Where she.
Wow, we're taking your concerns into consideration. Yeah. I'm gonna let somebody know, and blah blah blah. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Like that's so much creepier sometimes. Because it actually happens that way, and like that's how that should have been handled. Yeah, like that kind of like banal middle management speak of like just kind of like placating her, but nothing's gonna happen. I was middle management forever, like nothing and serious, but I've had I'll look into it. Kind of looked into it and went, it's not worth the time to get everyone all riled up over. It is. Everyone's faced that, but that's what her boss should have done instead of making her feel more crazy. Because he virtually gaslit her.
Yeah, pretty much. She gets her roommate involved in her research, but this was where I started to really lose it about. So, like, we've already seen her go online before to do her research, and like, all she was doing was like posting to a Reddit forum, and somebody was like, "That looks real to me." And that was about the extent of it. But then she starts talking to her roommate, and she starts saying shit like, "Oh, we'll run analysis on the metadata." And I was like, this character, like 2 scenes ago, was typing into Google, "snuff film real?" ? Like,
we'll run
and then all of a sudden she's like, I'm going to analyze the metadata. I was like, what?
Rip the raw file to see where this came from.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And then, so if you have that knowledge, right? Like, you and I don't really have that knowledge.
No.
You would then know, hey, what if I post this? Someone could just post a phishing link to me.
Right, somebody could track me back through this, kind of, which is exactly what he does because Arthur is actually tech savvy. Yeah. So when she starts posting on these forums and stuff and like posting up his footage, he immediately gets like, catches on to her.
This was similar.
We have to talk about how, real quick, because we're about to skip past it, and I have to say, we have to talk about how the scene where she gets her boss out of the office so that she can use his computer. We already established that this is the guy from The Blackening. So he was like, what, early 30s black man,
yeah, he's
right?
about my age, I'd imagine.
Yeah. She comes in and she goes, hey, you're a Dead fan, right? Yeah, man, in 2026, a 30-year-old black man is a big fan of the Grateful Dead. She's like, I got you tickets. Are these for tonight? Joe, what year do you think is the last year the Grateful Dead toured?
In any capacity, not a...
Well, I know that there's, like, there's, like, versions of the Dead, and there's, like, you know, like, tribute bands and things. But just for fun, just for the kids at home, do you know what year...
2014?
It's 1995, actually.
Okay.
The real Grateful Dead with Jerry Garcia, because he fucking died. But,
okay.
Yes, the Dead went on, but it's just so funny, the idea that, like, not only is there a Dead concert in their town that night, just on a random Wednesday or something.
I'm trying
but the idea that, like, to me it has to be, it almost feels like it has to be a deliberate joke. To be like, oh, this guy, of course, this guy's a Dead fan. He looks just like your average Grateful Dead fan.
Well,
a
I'm
guy
trying
who
to
was
think...
like a corporate middle management dude in his 30s. Even if he wasn't black, I would have laughed at this. But the fact that he also is a black man is even funnier because, like, I don't feel like the Dead resonated with black community very much.
No. I mean, I'm trying to think. You got me thinking here of... Like, what's a band she could have said that's not offensive, easy layup of like, oh, I got Jay-Z tickets, who also hasn't toured in a million years.
Not just like, hey, you're a black man here, but like, what's an actual band he could have been into that would have been realistic, but also a little niche, you know?
I'm seeing her solo again. Hey, I got Paramore tickets.
Sure, yeah, there you go.
You know. Whatever, or like just like that lane. Hey, I got like emo era.
Just a reference to a band that was current, even if you wanted to do a classic rock band. The Dead is such a weird, silly.
Blink 182.
There you go. Yeah, that's perfect for his age group.
They still tour. He's you know what? I looked up his age there. He's 38. He's my brother's age.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're in the same ballpark though. Like younger guy ish.
Also, even if you were into that type of music, jam bands and stuff, Fish is probably the more relevant reference point there. If you were like, you like Fish, that would have at least made it feel like something that happened in the last 25 years. Like,
yeah.
Just to have her be like, oh, you kiss casually, like, oh, you, what? Yo, yeah, I'm a deadhead. Yeah, shut the fuck up. No, you aren't.
Did they just write it because it said dead?
Yeah, again, it's that thing of like, there's a couple things.
Fuck it, let him be a Slipknot fan at that point.
We can talk a little bit. This gets into because like the next scene after what I've written down is we're getting into Arthur with his captives. We see he's got the influencer girl
in cages
and the dad and the son in these like little cages. He is very Tooth Fairy coded here. He comes in with the nylon mask, but he rolls it up to his mouth. He looks just like the Tooth Fairy in Manhunter.
Oh, yeah.
And this is again where I feel like the movie falls down because I can't tell if the movie is if like the director is just doing that visual reference for us to be like, hey, here's a little nod, or if the character is doing it on purpose. And I feel like not knowing that kind of hurts the movie. Like, is he trying to, because he's clearly supposed to be kind of obsessed with Faces of Death, is he just like a horror guy and he's doing these little, he can't help himself?
He does say it later.
Yeah.
He goes like, well, just people love a good imitation.
Yeah, but I feel like that's when he's specifically talking about Faces of Death, but like, he's doing references to other horror movies, and I'm wondering, is that just the thing the director threw in for us?
I think the director threw that in for us. Or is that
the character is also aware of his references? You know what I mean?
I think the director threw it in for us. I think... Yeah.
And I think I like that less. I think I'd find it more interesting if the character was doing it.
Because I think the movie would go away, the character in the movie would go a certain way, if he was not just face that he was inspired by movies, I think there would be a more deliberate like poster on the wall or something in the basement, just something to tell us like. Even the original Halloween poster or something get their hands on, like something weird, like phantasms or something, right? Like,
and to me that speaks to the more kind of like laziness of the script and like some of the dumb stuff that I don't like. I don't like it that like the director's just like, here's something you've seen that you probably remember. Like, I would have been more interested in it if it was part of the character, or don't do it at all.
It's a bummer.
Just don't waste my time with that.
Make him a creepy serial killer at that point.
Stop. Exactly. Also, that just goes to the thing I said of, like, he's just a grab bag of serial killer cliches. He doesn't have anything original to him,
Well, I didn't... I'm jumping. That's what I want to say is I'm jumping ahead, but that's kind of bums me out learning on this recording that he is the director of Cam, because that was such a good director who debuted. I thought it was such a unique like way, and like you deal with like modern day like sex work, and like it was a digital creepy movie, a web creepy movie where you didn't really know what was going on. I don't know. I really like that movie. It's one I've wanted to cover on this show, and I don't know. Did I ever cover on this show?
I think you did an episode on Cam.
I did do an episode on Cam.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I bought the bootleg because it was a Netflix original. Like, I like that movie a lot. It made like my top 5 that year, probably my number 1 in horror. So it's a bummer because this is, like you said, it's just like lazy. It's script lazy, which again, not always on the director, but there's certain choices they're making.
Well, it's like that thing of giving her the last name Romero. It's like, just showing me that you have also seen the movies I've seen doesn't impress me. You know what I mean? Like, show me you learned something from the movies I've seen.
So, God, yeah, remind me to bring up another dumb thing later. So this is when we get like dumb pass, because I think this is. I saw some Reddits being like, new favorite final girl, yay. I think this might be my least favorite final girl of all time.
Yeah, they try to make her a final girl. They even get her into a tank top by the end, which I thought was, I mean, they're really getting that. They're really getting after it.
But it's the decisions, because, I don't know, we've talked a lot about a lot of horror. I give a lot of things passes of, like, dumbness has to happen for movie to happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, why go in there, don't do this. Well, but some of her dumbness is just... Girl, what are you doing?
Yeah, like she tries, she tries to go to the cops for the first time, but she doesn't really have any evidence, obviously. No. So they're just kind of like,
she
what
does
are you
say
talking
crazy
about?
Shit. She's like, I noticed one thing in one state and another thing in 2 states. You got to do something, and they're like,
these are tied together for some reason. Yeah,
we can't do anything.
And then, of course, she also gets fired at the same time because she was taking uppers to work at, and they found them or whatever.
Yeah,
like fire her, but it's really just a pretense to fire her because she's being weird about these videos more than anything. I do like that, like, and I thought this is maybe this is even like I should give the actress some credit. The movie does a good job of making Margot feel like a crackpot that you wouldn't believe, that you would ignore. Like, even if she was making some valid points, her whole. The way they have her behaving would make you suspicious. So, I think that's a good... This is where she gets her speech, too, about, quote-unquote, trying to clean up the internet. Because, did we actually unpack the full video yet? Have we gotten to that? The train girl video? Is this is about where that comes up? Because I feel like... in.
We see... When he discovers her...
Yeah, that's what it is. When
we see the full
thing. We talked
thing.
about how he kind of like reverse tracks her while she's looking for him. And of course, by doing that, he finds the train girl video and he sees the full thing, which is that she was making her sister do a dance on some train tracks and they were supposed to run away at the last minute. And her sister slipped and fell and got hit by a train and died.
Yeah.
And so part of her, like, what she thought she was doing here was like protecting the world from these type of videos that went viral that are like real shit. But this is where I had a little bit, it's like, I don't necessarily think the movie is doing this, but I tried for a second to give the movie a little credit because I was like, maybe they're making a commentary about slacktivism. Like the fact that she thinks she's doing something by like being a moderator, but really she just is wrapped up in the same system, and she's not, you know, she's a keyboard warrior. Her actual, what she does doesn't really make a difference. And then, like, eventually she goes out into the real world to make a difference, to, like, you know, get involved. Like I said, I don't in any way think the movie was doing that. But I, in my brain, was, like, trying to give it a little something to, like, cling to. I think, like, maybe there was a message there, even inadvertently, about, like, how, like, keyboard warrior slacktivism is useless and you got to get out in the world and actually get involved, kind of thing. And that would speak to the director of How to Blow Up a Pipeline, you know, if he had that thought built into this a little bit, you know.
And it could have been there, you know, and smoothed it out over the movie's process, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I can't fully go, how did that director make this? Because we know how movies are made. It's not fully right. Director. I don't know. I think a reading into it is more so less what they're intended, because I also don't think she, like, I don't, from what the movie sets up and who we are dealing with, I don't think her job is this, like, useless thing. Like, I get the thought of, like, I want to help, and this is a good way to help. But
I think she is basically useless at it. They show you on several occasions
she's useless
what she's doing is she's doing the job, but she's doing it wrong. She's not actually being help. Like, what her job could be useful for, she's not doing that. You know what I mean? She's actually making the wrong choices, letting the wrong shit through, and flagging the stuff that could be positive, you know? Like,
so, excuse me, I kind of want to jump here a little bit further. So she does, Arthur does come, and basically
he parks all the way across the street, and then in full Michael Myers outfit, walks across the well-lit street in the middle of in a busy city, just wandering the neighborhood dressed like a fucking serial killer.
Not during a con.
No, just out in the world. It's so fun. I was like, maybe, like, put your costume on when you get into the building, or maybe, like, just park in a darker alley or something.
You know what? All these, in every movie, all these guys, especially this movie, they should all have the realistic drive person mask on that people commit real crimes with, because it's always creepy. I know they can't ever do that because every movie is the same. It's always creepy, and this, that. And that guy would, fine, do it that way. Wear your weird costume to get in that way.
Speaking of, you know, visual nods, I felt like the mask was very Hush. Had a very Hush vibe to it.
Yeah, it's that thing of, like, they wanted things to be, like, I think, icons. They wanted his look to look like this Hush.
Yeah, there's visual markers for sure, but like I said, I feel like it's very just, hey, remember this thing? Like,
and the red X in the tape, and the red X's, you know, trying to be a thing. I don't know if that's from the Faces of Death branding. I just know they'll use the same logo branding. It's such a weird thing to say about that fucking thing.
Branding.
But so she, you know, her roommate kind of fights back a little bit.
He puts up a decent fight, I would say. You know, it's all right. Dockery's not a huge guy. Like, I kind of wanted to see her body him a little bit in the end. I was like, come on, she looks like she could fuck him. Like, I wanted that Annie Wilkes James Caan fight. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I wanted to see.
We're missing that. But nope, that does not happen. But he does slit his throat.
Yeah, and Margot gets taken. She gets a Narcan shot, and she also gets kidnapped. We see when she wakes up, and we're kind of seeing Dockery at his lair again. I noticed another nod. Basically, he's wearing like a flesh-colored skin suit, and it's got a very Buffalo Bill vibe. Like, instead of the skin suit to become a woman, he's trying to become one of the mannequins. He looks very much. He's got his hair like slicked way back, like slicked down, almost lacquered to his head.
But he's not a piece of shit.
He's got like I said, again, another visual marker. They're doing Buffalo Bill, but instead of wanting to become a woman, he wants to become one of these mannequins, basically. Yeah. By the way, the mannequins in his videos are like my favorite part of the whole movie. I loved that. Like, the aesthetic of redoing the deaths with mannequins was cool. Like, that was a good idea. I like that. And it's the idea that that's the thing that got her attention is maybe one of the more realistic things in the movie.
That, and like, its visual look and which this what I'm about to say is what everyone always says when they don't like a movie, and its score. That's when I was like,
Yeah.
That's when I was like, this has the potential to hit me this has the potential to hit me like real by the end of this. I'm really gonna like it. And the further I've gotten away from watching it, the less I went back and I degraded it a star. Because I was like, in this conversation we want to go down even more. Like this should be 2.
Yeah, I think I gave it 1.5, which is incredibly low for me. And
That's
like I said,
low
I
for
might have been a little hyperbolic and being.
I'm changing.
I might have been a little bitchy, and also a little performative because I knew we were doing the show and stuff. But I do think that mostly it's just because I think the filmmaking is okay, and I think that the performances are pretty good. So I think it's just kind of the laziness of the ideas in it that offend me.
Well, it should be really good. It's a movie that could be really good. I like it. Yeah. It could be really. It's
almost
neat.
More offensive that it's like if it was just shit through and through, top to bottom, you'd be like, forget it, throw away. You wouldn't it wouldn't even be worth assessing.
Yeah, but there
is elements here that could have been good. I agree.
Of like gross outness to it, right? Because I think that's part of a movie like this. The movie I saw today, Obsession. Once again, I will be light on no spoilers or anything. I thought it picked its moments to do like its grossness.
Yeah, it's gore. Yeah,
it's gore. This one almost needed to go either do that, be very like we're gonna do it and we're gonna do it well, or just go all out and be like, here's every deprived thing, and this is the movie you're seeing.
Yeah, I agree.
And don't show me the fucking monkey video. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
don't show me that.
I'd rather watch the person version.
Don't show me that. It was that bothered. That was like no. But so she's in there, and then guess what? Guess what fucking happens? She escapes with one of the influence. But guess what?
She does. First of all, we didn't talk about Chekhov's lipstick knife.
Oh yes.
Earlier, the roommate gives her a little lipstick that's got a little knife in it, and that finally comes back, and she was able to cut herself. That's how she's able to cut herself free. But she gets out with the, and instead of just leaving, instead of just running, she's got to get evidence. Which again, the girl even tells her, "I'm the evidence." Like, I'm evidence.
You're both the evidence. Just run, get out. The guy was distracted. They would have been so far away.
Yeah.
And she doesn't, and she's so like locked in. And the girl, the best part is the girl looking at her like, this dummy. Like looks at her like,
yeah, which I love. Yeah. But also her bullshit is what gets that girl shot, right? No, she smashes through the door. She just needs to open the door somehow, and I think she does but she smashed through the door with Margot. I was trying to remember for a second I couldn't remember if it was something Margot did that tipped off Arthur that they were getting out, but I don't think it is. I think it's her going through the door.
No, it was the door. He heard it, but it was also a thing where like they would have been better as 2 than the 1. But then it's also really dumb writing, I found, for like, again, I get the funness of the scene possibly, but it wasn't even shot fun of like him with the sniper and her running around. He's like fucking with her like zigzag. No.
Also, they were way too close to civilization for that to fly.
Say, that
they're in like a
in the suburbs,
like a neighborhood in the suburbs. They're not in a trailer out in the middle of nowhere built over a fucking pit where everything's underground. They're in like the suburbs, and he's just firing a gun in broad daylight out of his window.
That guy should have just. Yeah, that guy normally in any other movie would not be like, bam, here's loud shots, this and that, even if you're in like Florida or whatever.
Yeah. So the influencer that leaves her behind, she tries to get away, but she gets shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see, also we got another visual note here. He had those red contacts. He takes one out, and then he's stalking around with one red eye. He looks like the Terminator. Very much like walking around with a gun like the Terminator. Margot also tries to get out. he shoots at her. He doesn't hit her, but he hits the hard drive that she stole, which is his Faces of Death hard drive that was very conveniently marked so that she could see it. FOD. She would know which one to take, because of course you know, when you're a serial killer, you always get out your little label maker, your label baby junior, and you put your little labels on your hard drives.
Sorry, more on Margot. Also, you know, when you're beaten and deprived and caged up, you're like, okay, good, I gotta get the right hard drive. Yeah, he made his label maker, and bam. Fuck it.
Yeah, she's like cycling, like I said, I'm so with the girl who left her behind, because yeah, it's not even like she just sees the FOD hard drive and rips it off and just takes it and runs, which is what I would do. Be like, the cops can figure out how to get information off of this. I'll rip it out of here and I'll just go. She's like on the computer, like, get the fuck out of there, bitch.
I'm pretty good with computers in a sense. Have you ever used not your computer?
Barely.
It takes them. Get on my computer right now. It takes a minute to walk around.
Arthur's like a tech guy. You don't think he had some precautions and protections? You think she just hopped on there and got into his? I don't know.
It bothered me so much because all these things, and anyone listening, if you're still listening. I don't know, like I said, we've talked a lot about movies. This stuff normally doesn't get to me. What bothered me is the movie wanted us to think everyone was so smart with computers and these decisions and things, and then did all this stuff.
Yeah, literally, like, earlier in the movie, like, I don't think we hit it hard enough, but when they're like, she's like doing all this research, they want you to think that she's like doing all this stuff. She just like uploads the video to Reddit and then is like, is this real?
I also like think the movie doesn't get a pass, and I think that's why I found like eye rolling of the, like, you know, comments like, the best final girl, blah blah. But this is most of our final girls in our really good movies. You know, not even your classics. Like, I know your Nancy's, your Laurie's, your this,
sure.
But even in like I don't know the name off the top of my head, but even at the Descent, I think it's one of the more like. By the end of that movie, I feel her emotional journey she went on to go through all of this, and, you know, those decisions to fight back or like abandon friend. It all feels very earned, and I sympathize with the character. And then the ending, you feel like, oh shit, you're right. Like, it's all very contained and poignant in that movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of other movies, but this is like the one we just talked about one, like Wrong Turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remake. Similar. This, I feel like none of that is there. Like, she kind of does a half-ass research, gets kidnapped, and we're about to talk about, like, the cops don't believe her. You know, there's a whole thing with that, and she goes to the hospital.
But then she says... Okay, useless cops, one of the more realistic parts.
Sure.
But then... They just did that in Barbarian. Even that's a stolen beat. Like, we just saw that. Like,
but then she like, it was like, I should go back there and confront him. What?
Well, yeah, she does the thing where, like, we established, nobody's gonna help me. Cops can't help me. Nobody can help me. So I need to go back and handle this myself. But
it just isn't earned. It's just like, not saying it always needs to be earned, but you know what I don't want to see it earned? When I go see, like, fucking, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer, just a teeny bopper slasher.
Yeah.
You know what Faces of Death is not trying to be? A teeny bopper slasher.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, she gets away with the with the shot hard drive. But he doesn't know that he shot the hard drive. So after the thing with the cops where they're totally useless, he messages her and is like, bring me the hard drive or I'm going to kill everybody. You know, because she knows there's still got people there. Yeah, I get why she goes back, but... So that's why she goes back. But at the same time, this is supposed to be where, like, Arthur has transcended. He's no longer, like... She has inspired him to no longer just recreate Faces of Death. He's doing his own thing. And again, what his own thing turns out to be is just some boring derivative shit where he puts some heads on some mannequins. It's not very interesting. It's not very original. It's just like everything else in this movie, it feels like I've seen it done better somewhere else, and at the same time, it feels like it's patting itself on the back for doing it. It's like, look how clever we are at the same while we do something you've seen 10 times, you know?
I think that's the issue, right? Like you said, like, it's, I don't know,
well, like,
it's here's
another thing. His whole reason for doing this is, oh my god, remakes. And it's like, really? You're talking about Scream 4, 2011. You're doing that's your big twist, that's your big plot, that's your big motivation.
You're talking about
even Scream's own franchise has reused that again. Like, you're double unoriginal.
It's something that was even commented on in the Vacation remake.
Right, exactly.
But I'm in the Vacation remake, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here. They're going to look at the camera and wink at me.
Yeah.
This one, I'm like I said, this movie, it's I don't think it's trying to be camp. I think, how everything's like, almost to an annoying degree, I think wants to be both like poignant and camp today.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
When it worked in like Long Legs. It's not working here.
Yeah. Yeah, Long Legs is something where we talked about how it's very derivative of Silence of the Lambs, and yet it works. You know what I mean? Like, so we know that you can do that type of filmmaking in horror and still, but like for some reason this one, it's just something about it so scattershot, it's so first thought, everything's like real, like first idea kind of. Nobody like tried to think deeper on anything. Yeah, it's just it's I think that's the problem. It's more frustrating. You can see the skeleton of a better movie. Yeah,
that's what I said. Like, I stand by my, like, this could have got 4 stars.
Yeah.
And even like that, like, just you don't have to change. You keep, like you said, we think the actress did really well. Keep the cast the same, whatever. Even make Margot's character and you know what?
Just make her deserve to be the final girl. Make her make better choices.
And DeCray, Montgomery, like those two characters, Margot and Arthur, like, make Margot make two different choices in this movie. Make her run out with the girl and, like, do something stupid like grab the computer. It's a laptop. Like, grab the computer or something.
Like, was that the first Into the Spider-Verse where he grabs just, like, the whole tower and runs out with it? Like, make her do that shit.
Like it's not, but like there's just a better way to do it.
Also,
than,
use Margot's physicality more. You could have had her run out with that girl and, like, toss that girl up over that fence. Like, that would have been a great visual gag to have her be like, grab the girl by the back and just, like, hoist her ass up over the fence. And then have Margot run through the fence like a fucking linebacker.
I have an idea. It's fine. I have an idea, though, for that scene, right? The running. What if you revealed that the suburban community he's living in is, hey, about 4 of these houses around that they're going to go into, no one lives here. A bunch of for sale signs around. Where it's like a nude in development. That's the Don't Breathe thing, right? Where he's like living in what looks like a dilapidated community, but he's the only person left. Kind of like. And but that would be fine here. That'd be fine here.
That would have been work. Or flip it the other way, it's a new development. He's just the first person to have moved into the area, but there's a lot of houses waiting to be sold, but nobody's in them yet.
And I know this is a gag, and that would be like Fright Night, like the Fright Night remake kind of.
Right, exactly.
I know this is a gag, so I always don't like talking like this, but when Margot runs and bumps into that one woman, and she's clearly bloody and just I would say person, especially woman, would be like, get away from my car, I gotta leave.
Yeah. Like, she goes running for help, and she's like clearly got blood all over her face.
Yeah, you're in distress. Like we've seen other movies where someone
it would have been way more realistic for that lady, and this is a beat we've seen before, so it wouldn't have been the most original thing, but more realistic thing where the lady stops to help her, and the sniper wipes her out. Yes, he wipes her out, and then Margot's like and runs off.
And here's the thing: we don't need to be realistic. Like, I know, like, I feel like this conversation we sound like, I think I've been sounding like CinemaSins, but like, I'm not trying to do that. I just want my movie not to piss me off.
Right, I want my movie to just try a little harder, I think. Like I said, I feel like there's just so many things here that feel either like first thought or first idea, and nothing like... No, just a little bit more effort put into some of these things would have made it better.
And I don't think the movie is like, we were talking earlier, and I said like I'm using obsession as this, but like, whatever, like, oh, it's doing its job, and you're just like, not that you're not getting it, you're just like not happy with its result. I don't think this movie's job was to piss us off. I think this movie's job was to be like, I want to cheer for Margot at the end when she gets hers and stabs him with the lipstick knife.
I shouldn't be thinking that the right decision is to have Margot fail here. Like, I did. There was a moment where I was like, oh my God, are they going to have him kill Margot and like actually go... I mean, I knew the movie would never do that, but I was like, that would be an interesting choice. And I shouldn't be thinking that. I should be like, yay, Margot. I shouldn't be thinking like, what if he killed her? And then we'd have to... What would the movie become then, You
know what this reminded me of, too? Of, like, its journey and how it's not deserved, but it's the same. Where, like, I know we really liked it, but, like, the Hellraiser reboot. Where, like, there's clearly trying to set these groundworks of, like, thematics here. Mm-hmm. And some of it's landing, but some of it's not. This shit just is not landing at all for us.
Yeah, their ratio was way lower.
But yeah, there's a lot of cool and interesting things you could have done with this. I mean, it sounds fucked up to say this made no money. I mean, it was never meant to make money, but like, You're not getting enough Faces of Death too. Put it that way.
No. Arthur's not coming back.
But I said there's a lot of horror fans that liked it, but horror fans like everything.
Yeah, we've talked about the Shudder curve before. I will say one thing right before, as Arthur lay dying, he pulls out his phone to watch his favorite movie. I was like, that's goals. Watching your favorite movie as you die, that's goals. That's pretty good.
Which was it again?
Like huh?
Do we know which movie?
He was dying, or at least he thought he was.
Oh, it was Faces of Death.
He was watching Faces of Death, yeah. Yeah, which is, like I said, I just was like, the idea of like, I know I'm dying, I'm going to put on my favorite movie to watch as I die is like pretty good.
That's fun.
That's pretty solid. That's a solid little beat to end on, I would say.
That's what, like I said, this movie's not like, there's moments in it, for sure.
There's definitely, but there's ideas, but unfortunately there's just a lot of dumb ideas too.
She uploads it, so they're killing out.
Well, right, it ends up being that she recorded their whole confrontation. So she's got his confession. They do, again, one of the lamest, most obvious fake outs where he tells her to give herself an injection so she didn't. And then she's pretending to be asleep and she wakes up and gets him. But, yeah, the whole thing is she's going to upload the footage of him confessing that he did these. But I don't know. I feel like that would make the whole thing feel even more like a movie. So, like, imagine you're in this world, right, and you've seen these mannequin snuff films, right? And there's a couple of them, there's, like, one releases, and then a couple of there another one, and there's all this buzz, and then there's a big final one with, like, a big confrontation, and they reveal the killer, and that feels like, it would feel fake to me. I would be like, oh, so it's been a bit the whole time. This is like, you were making a short movie, and you released it in, like, 4 parts, and the first 3 parts are these snuff films, and the 4th part is this resolution, like... I always feel like when that's the resolution of a movie that they release the information on the internet and that changed the world is always horseshit. I feel like again, it's that thing of like the popularity of snuff films that's been way disproven by reality. We've had lots of people try this and release what they think is world-changing information, and nobody gave a shit. I
will say this to give the movie a prop on this. Her realization is that, oh no one cared. Everyone just saying, yeah, you go girl. Yeah. Like, wow, that's great. Or she deserves it instead of, like, it is a disingenuous ending other than uploading and everyone be like, call the cops. It's not Trap.
Right, yeah.
Like, where she's like, help me find the location. Like, I will say the movie is basically just having that masochistic of like, oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I guess the implication is not that, like, I don't know, that her video is even going to lead to anything, but just that she's just now kind of realize. But I guess, yeah, I guess
you know what's also Margot, you have now loaded up 2 deaths to the internet.
Yeah, you got a real body count, girl.
Yeah, I mean, but I think she thinks it'll help at least, and then she still has all those people, or a few of those people below that were his victims. That we could assume. Trial gets run. She's absolved. She's not this crazy girl who killed
there's
them.
Gonna be proof because there's there's heads sewn to mannequins downstairs and stuff. So
yes. Did he end up killing everyone anyway?
Yeah, he killed.
Yeah, he did.
When he unveils his masterpiece, when he transcends just recreating the movie and does his own kills. Remember, I talked about how they were just boring bullshit.
Oh, you're right. That's why I forgot.
He put heads on mannequins. It just was nothing.
That's why I forgot about it. I forgot. Yeah. Yes, you see all of them.
Because it's lame. It's this big unveiling of his original vision, and it's just another kind of by the numbers horror thing that you've seen a million times. It's nothing.
I don't know. I'm ready to call this one a conversation.
Well, here's the thing. Look, one last thing. Here's the thing. Whatever you feel about the original 1978 Faces of Death, it is legitimately a cultural touchstone and had an impact. And this movie was never gonna be that. And to try to tread on that and also make something so lame and toothless is kind of also what sucks. If you're gonna put such a bold stamp out and be we're using the name of one of the most infamous movies in horror history, do better. You know what I mean? Do more with it. What you brought me was lame.
I think that's do more with it. I mean, it was lame. Because I guess I should have brought this up in the beginning, talking about Face of Death being infamous and all this. Have you ever seen the horror iceberg?
I'm sure I have. I don't remember it.
It's a graphic I've seen before.
Yeah,
where
it starts the tip is real normie stuff, and the deeper it gets more fucked up.
Yeah, and
at the bottom is 10 Days in Sallow or whatever.
Yeah, even worse, or something you ever heard where it's just
Antichrist is in there somewhere.
Yeah, and like Faces of Death is the first or second tier below that line, and you're okay. I've, where it's not really me or really your lane of horror when we get into those masochists, but I've seen a one or two in those, that iceberg, but this movie, it wants to be in that iceberg.
Yeah.
It wants to be right there, like you said. Do better. You are, because guess what? Faces of Death, great name.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do think there is a clever, we keep saying, there's a clever script and satire.
I don't even
think
the idea of a killer who recreates the deaths from Faces of Death isn't even a terrible idea.
Huh. And
like I said, I like the mannequin aesthetic. So some of that, like I said, but I just feel like the stuff around it is really dumb and just doesn't really earn anything from us. So
it's a dumb movie. It's a very dumb movie.
And very, like I said, very first thought, very first idea. Just go.
I'm glad. I'm glad it's not gonna be really popular, because I get tired of being I would get tired of being the person to push back on being it's not brilliant, because I think this is a movie where certain people you run into brilliant, I loved it, love Barbie.
Oh yeah, some of the reviews on Letterboxd and you're that we're doing that too, and
it's ooh, no, I saw it before we jumped on. Did you see very different lane, but did you see Eli Roth's Ice Cream Man thing?
Yeah, well, I didn't watch the trailer, but I saw somebody mentioning. I
saw a few clips, and I went, "Oh, he's trying to make a Terrifier movie."
Yeah, and he's also doing a kid zombie movie, which is what Cooties is. So
yeah, but it's gross, it's all gross out.
I mean,
stuff.
He's always done Eli Roth's always been a gross guy. He was torture porn guy, Cabin Fever.
Yeah, he's pivoting back, and
he's going back. That's why I said his best movie. It's funny because his best movie is still A House with the Clock in Its Walls, and that's the most family friendly thing he ever did.
I like Cabin Fever too, but We disagree on that. It's
We
fine.
can disagree on that.
It's also been 15 years since I've probably watched it.
That's fair.
But no, House Clock and Walls, very good. But my point of bringing that is, it's the same thing with this. It's like, oh, cool, we're not for this. This isn't being trying to be Terrifier, but like maybe you should have.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have with better acting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, I think I am done with this conversation. It's fun to talk about things that suck sometimes. A lot of times we talk about
we're
good
usually
things.
pretty positive on our horror movies, so it's nice to shit on something once in a while.
Yeah, this deserved it. All right, well, Brian, I will leave you. I'll leave you now. All right. Don't watch Face of Death or watch Face of Death. I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch it after you heard us say all that and you still want to watch it, Godspeed, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Tell me I'm wrong. All right.
Yeah.
Stay frightful, everyone. Bye.
Whoa.